give you some instructions on how to put your quilt hanger together. Now this is our 48-inch quilt hanger. And then I'm going to also show you how to do the smaller one for a rug, but I'm going to apply this to a quilt right now so that you can attach it to a quilt. Now, I do want to say that the quilt that I am showing you is an antique quilt. Let me just hold it up. I'm kind of proud of it. Move my phone over here. I'm kind of proud of it. I'm not going to hang it up. I'm not going to hold it up all the way. This is a Jacob's ladder. This, my great-grandmother made this back in the 1920s, I guess. And it's pretty ragged. It's pretty worn up. And I just lay it on top of something. Now I don't hang it anymore because the threads and the fabric is beginning to fall. It's a much, much wider quilt than this hanger, so you have to keep that in mind. One of the things that you want to make sure that you don't do is put this on put this hanger, and this one is 48 inches, whatever size you choose. This one's 48 inches, so don't put a quilt on here that's more than 48, 50 at the most. I wouldn't even go 48. I mean, I wouldn't go past the 48 because of the way that it is made. Now, I'm going to take some things apart, and I'm going to get closer to the camera so that you can see it. Now, these knobs, and I'll get closer in just a minute, these knobs right here go... that's what puts the hanger to where it will hold the quilt. Now, let me explain to you that the knobs do not go anywhere into your quilt. So all that hard work that you are doing, you don't want something to put holes in your quilt. So that's not what this does. All right, so I'm going to come around here. Move my tripod out of the way. I'm going to come around here and I want to show you the inside of the quilt. Now, there's a lip right here. And this lip is what goes on the binding of the quilt. Okay? And it's on both sides. The front and the back have it. Here it is right here. Now, you want to put the binding inside here. Okay? Now, when you're doing this, make sure you have it right set up. Okay, now let me come back around here and I'm going to show you that this particular quilt, again, is a very old antique quilt, and the binding is much wider than what we typically do today. And the reason is because it's a quilt over a quilt. Back in the day, when quilters used their quilts up and didn't want to use them anymore, but didn't want to throw the fabric away, they would put another top on top of this, and this is what this was. So it's a very, very heavy quilt. This quilt is not good to hang. In fact, we took it down because, again, all of the threads were tearing. Now, also, have to tell you the story about this quilt real quick while I'm doing this. My grandmother had it up in the top of a closet, and I was helping her clean out her closet, and I said, "What is this?" And she said, "Oh, throw that thing away. It is so old," and all of that. So I threw it away in my car. I put it in my car and brought it home. So this is my treasured quilt of my great-grandmother who quilted it with my grandmother back in the, like I said, the 20s. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get the lip that I showed you, and you want to put the binding inside of that lip. And when you do, it should fit pretty well. If it doesn't, that's okay, because when you tighten the wood down with the knobs, it's going to grab a hold of the quilt and try to get the and I'll take some close pictures as well so you can see these. And you want to get it lined up, and then you want to start putting your knobs. Okay, I don't know if you can see them or not. Like I said, I've got uh, small pictures of this too. And you want to make sure that the holes are aligned, because if they're not, the knobs won't go in. Don't tighten them up until you get all of them in. Okay, go across here. Okay, that one's not lined up because it won't go in. There we go. Now you can start to tighten them up. The tighter you go, the more pressure the quilt hanger has on the quilt. Again, the knob and the screw is not going into the quilt. It is on the top of the quilt, and what it does is it's tightening it up. There you go. It's tightening it up. So I wanted to show you, in case you have an issue with your knobs loosening up. Now, these are cabinet knobs. I got them at a home store, a fashion home store downtown. And they're ceramic, so you want to be careful that you don't tighten them too much because you don't want the ceramic to break. But if you interchange your quilt a lot, your lug nut might, this little lug nut might come undone, and then all it'll do is just spin. Okay, so what you want to do is go into your toolbox. I got a toolbox for Christmas one year, which is really cool, but I had to go steal this out of Steve's because I didn't have this. This is a 5/16 lug nut. This is the side that you use. Okay, so all you do is put this right in here, and you turn it until it tightens. And just tighten it really well, really tight like that, and now it'll work. So if it does come unloose, it loosens up on your quilt hanger, all you got to do is just tighten it up. And again, it's 5/16. Okay? All right, everybody. Chat soon. Bye. Now what we want to do is hold it up so you can see. I'm going to turn it around. I have to be really careful with this because, again, this is a much bigger quilt. And I want to turn it around so you can see how it's going to look. Now keep in mind that this quilt is much bigger, very heavy. But this is what your quilt will look like. You do it like this. And there you go. I have this other hanger I wanted to show you. This is a smaller one. It's the 17-inch. Again, you can order any size you want. But I wanted to show you how to hang a rug. So I'm going to go ahead and I have to turn my back to you a little bit and unscrew this. I took it off the wall so I could show you. Okay, so I wanted to show this really quickly. This is the groove that's inside the hanger. This is the back of the hanger. This is the groove that's on the inside. And you have the front also has the groove. Okay, so what you do is when you have a rug, you do it on monk's cloth or whatever, linen or whatever, and you typically go in and you bind all of it like that. But when I decided I wanted to hang it, I had to take the binding off. So this is my monk's cloth unbound. Okay, so what you do is just fold it so that the binding, so that this right here will fit inside the grooves of the hanger. So let's go ahead and do that. lay it on a table so that you can put everything flat. Make sure that you put the back first, obviously. I know that sounds kind of funny, but I did it backwards, so just to let you know that you can do it backwards. And then you have to take it all off. Okay, so there's it. There it is. Now, it doesn't fit exactly into the groove, but that's okay, because when I tighten up the screws will put the pressure on the rug so that it won't fall. Now again, the screws do not go in to the rug. Now, if it's not lined up exactly right, it's not going to go in. So you got to just move it around until it lines up, and then it'll start to tighten up. Get it as tight as you want it. And there you go. And I can go put it back on the wall. Okay, everybody, have a good one.